Hey guys, we're here with our Week 6 battle of the GPSL going up against Rezilient. Real quick, we'll go over Rezilient's team. He has Mega Scizor, Latios, Sylveon, Rotom Wash, Entei, Crobat, Donphan, Druddigon, Tangrowth, Slowking, Hariyama, and Malamar. And of course, you guys know my team. It is Mega Lopunny, Latios, Clefable, Skarmory, Arcanine, Milotic, Crocodile, Cofagrigus, Ambipom, Rotom-Mow, Steelix, and Regirock. If you guys did not see the GPSL update video, we did drop our muck for this Steelix. Looking ahead, I just saw no real scenario where muck would help us over Steelix, so that's really why. But real quick, looking at Rezilient's team, he has a lot of threats. He has that Sylveon, which he loves to run the Choice Spec Sylveon set. He loves to run that Choice Banded Entei set. In fact, it is the current leader in kills in the GPSL. I believe it is 9-0. It is yet to be killed. Mega Lopunny is in second place in kills, only to this Entei. And he has a lot of threats to his team. Bulky Rotom Wash. Latios is always a problem. Mega Scizor really only has one weakness. It's just a lot, but I feel like we best prepped for his team as best as we could. So looking at his team, he only has one thing that resists normal, which would be Mega Scizor. And I can run Fire Punch on my Vanilla, which you guys see right here, our Mega Lopunny, in order to have perfect coverage against his team. So of course we have Vanilla holding the Lopunite with the ability Scrappy. Has the moves Return, Fire Punch, Fake Out, and Power Up Punch with 40 HP, 252 attack, and 216 speed with a Jolly Nature. That amount of speed will outspeed his entire team, even that Crobat, except for Scarfers, of course. Scarf Latios, Scarf Sylveon. I might still outspeed Scarf Sylveon. Scarf Entei, especially. I don't know why you would run it, but Scarf Crobat, we will outspeed it we won't outspeed it, but we will outspeed everything else on his team. With Return, I hit everything on his team except that Mega Scizor, and then I hit the Mega Scizor with Fire Punch. Because I didn't need extra coverage, I ran Fake Out and Power Up Punch. Fake Out to help me get my Mega Evolution off, and Power Up Punch is in case I wanted to set up on something. I could have run Ice Punch, but it only barely did more damage than Return did to that Druddigon, and he has Rocky Helmet damage, Rough Skin. So I just felt like Return was better. But I really needed something to handle that Choice Spec Sylveon. There's not much on my team that can. So what I decided to use was our brand spanking new Steelix. So introducing Solid Snake, our Steelix, holding the Assault Vest with the ability Sheer Force, and has the moves Heavy Slam, Fire Fang, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. With 252 attack, 252 HP, excuse me. Let me start over. 252 HP, 100 attack, and 156 special defense with an Adamant Nature. That amount of attack will outspeed that amount of attack will OHKO max HP Sylveon with Heavy Slam. If it's max HP, max defense bold, it's 2-hit KO, but I'll never OHKO it with any kind of set I ran unless it was a choice band. So that was the next best thing. The Assault Vest will allow us to soak up HP Fires from that Sylveon, as well as Hydro Pumps from the Rotom Wash. Unfortunately, there's not much coverage that Steelix gets that can hit the Rotom Wash. The only thing on this team that really hits it, or on this set that really hits it effectively, is that Rock Slide. But Heavy Slam is for Sylveon, Fire Fang is for the Scizor, Earthquake is for the Entei, and Rock Slide is for mostly the Rotom Wash, so it doesn't completely wall us. There's not anything on his team that completely resists all of these moves, so that's perfect for us. We ran Sheer Force because of Rock Slide and Fire Fang. I felt like it was better than Sturdy this week because there isn't much on his team, if there's anything, that's going to OHKO us with our natural physical bulk and the Assault Vest. So moving on, we have Toro, our Rotom-Mow, holding the leftovers with the ability Levitate and the moves Leaf Storm, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, and Pain Split with max HP, max special defense, Calm Nature, 4 special attack. This is just a stereotypical vanilla RU Rotom-Mow. I needed this to handle his Rotom Wash because I resist his dual stabs. I don't mind too much if I'm burned. And this is my only grass stab on my team. And Rotom Wash, if you guys didn't know, its only weakness is grass. So I had to bring this. Volt Switch is to get initiative. He only has one ground type, being that Donphan, and it does not want to take a Leaf Storm. He has a lot of physical attackers, so Will-O-Wisp is nice to have. Really the only problem with this set would be that Entei, but Entei is going to be a problem no matter what set I run on this Rotom-Mow. But moving on, we do have our Amigo this week, holding the Choice Band with the ability Flash Fire, has the moves Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, Crunch, and Bulldoze. With 64 HP, 252 attack, 4 special defense, and 188 speed with a Jolly Nature. That amount of speed, I believe, will outspeed the Rotom Wash. Max speed, Timid. We will never outspeed Latios, we'll never outspeed Entei. It might be the Rotom Wash and the Mega Scizor. I think Rotom Wash is faster than Mega Scizor, so yes, I believe this is to outspeed the Rotom Wash, excuse me. Flare Blitz, he has a Mega Scizor. I need to exploit that 4 times fire weakness. Extreme Speed is for a priority. Crunch is mostly to hit the Latios and the Slowking, and Bulldoze is to hit the Entei. Rotom Wash kind of walls this set a little bit if it's physically defensive enough, but enough Extreme Speeds will take it out, so I'm not overly concerned with it. We have Flash Fire this week because he has a lot of things that use fire moves, such as the Entei with Stab Fire, Rotom Wash with Will-O-Wisp, Sylveon I'm assuming will have HP Fire because my only 2 things that resist Fairy on my team are the Steelix and the Skarmory, and they don't like HP Fires very much. He has Fire Blast, Slowking. I think Hariyama might get Fire Punch. Latios can run HP Fire. There's a lot on his team that gets fire moves, so I felt like Flash Fire was going to be better this week. But moving on, we have Pinky, our Clefable, holding the leftovers with the ability Unaware. Has the moves Heal Bell, Healing Wish, Moonblast, and Flamethrower. With 248 HP, 8 special attack, and 252 special defense. He has a lot that sets up on his team, and I needed to stop that. He has Swords Dance Mega Scizor, Calm Mind Latios, Calm Mind Sylveon. That's really about it. Calm Mind Slowking, I guess, is kind of a thing. But at the same time, he doesn't have too much to deal with a Fairy type move. He really just has the Mega Scizor and the Crobat. So Moonblast hits pretty much his entire team, barring those 2 things. As well as the, and then Flamethrowers to hit the Mega Scizor. I couldn't really find a good move to run to hit the Crobat, and it will take quite a bit from Moonblast and Flamethrower because it's not the bulkiest thing in the world. But Heal Bell is for a Cleric. I kind of need, I don't want Mega Lopunny to be burned, things like that. But I kind of have to use that in Tangent because, spoiler alert, we are running Marvel Scale on Milotic this week. So I kind of got to be careful with that. And then Healing Wish is just in case something slow is in, like the Donphan, Clefable's real low. I could just Healing Wish over to something that really threatens his team a lot better. So yeah, that's our Clefable this week. And moving on to the last one on this team is our Calypso, Milotic, holding the leftovers with the ability Marvel Scale. Has Scald, Ice Beam, Recover, and Magic Coat. With max HP, 216 defense, and 40 special defense. Why am I running Magic Coat? Because I'm an idiot. That should have been Mirror Coat. And I'm recording this after the battle. And having Mirror Coat would have made a huge difference on this team instead of Magic Coat. But that is my mistake. It happens. There's not much I can do about it. And I really wish I did have the Mirror Coat on this team because it would have helped a lot more. But the 40 special defense guarantees that I will live a Thunderbolt from a Choice Specs max special attack modest Rotom Wash, because the idea was to be able to kill it with a Mirror Coat. If he doesn't bring the Malamar, Mirror Coat hits everything on his team, so that's why the idea behind it. This is also my Entei wall, because I can switch into Sacred Fires very well. I only take maximum like 40% from an Adamant Choice Band max attack. And if he burns me, then I'm just taking them even better because of Marvel Scale. So this was really meant to check Entei. And it just do some damage to other things. Burns are going to be kind of important this week. But overall, I felt really confident with this team. I feel like we could win. But Rezilient is a very good battler. He is also undefeated, if I had not mentioned that yet. We are both undefeated, and this is the week to decide first place, absolutely, in this league. So I will see you guys at the battle, and I'm very excited because this is bound to be very interesting. So I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, here we are at the battle, and looking at the team he brought, he has the Mega Scizor, Rotom Wash, Sylveon, Donphan, Crobat, and Malamar. He did not bring that Entei, which is a very good thing, but at the same time kind of a bad thing because I prepped so much for it. My Milotic kind of has less of a purpose now, but that's okay because I still didn't want to have to deal with the Entei. I was not really expecting Malamar or Crobat. Donphan, Sylveon, Rotom Wash, and Mega Scizor I was really expecting. I was more so expecting Entei over them, and then kind of maybe Slowking, or I wasn't really expecting Latios, to be honest. But anyways, I'm going to predict him to lead off with his Donphan so he can get up rocks. So in retaliation to that, I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Rotom Mow, but he's actually going to lead with the Rotom Wash. And that is perfectly fine for me because I threaten this thing out and I can go for a Will-O-Wisp on whatever he wants to switch into. So he is going to bring in his Mega Scizor, and this thing is going to get burned, and it is severely crippled just like that. Which is, we're off to a great start. This is a great way to go. I have to hard switch here because I don't know if he has speed investment to possibly outspeed me because I don't have any. So we can't go for a Volt Switch. So we're just going to hard switch out into our Arcanine because I know I can take any hit pretty much from this Scizor, and I can hit it with a Flare Blitz or threaten it out. But he's actually going to switch out into his Sylveon. I'm not exactly sure what he was predicting, but nonetheless, my Arcanine threatens this thing out because I hit it so hard physically. So he's going to switch out into his Donphan, which is clearly supposed to be his physical wall, and we're going to go for a Flare Blitz and do a decent amount of damage, but we're also going to take a lot from that recoil. Looking at that damage, he probably knows I'm banded now, but it's what can you do? It's all you really can do. So he's going to leave in his Donphan as we switch out to our Milotic because it is so physically defensive. He's going to take advantage of this and get up his rocks because I don't have hazard removal on this team, nor the ability to set up my own rocks, but he thinks I could. He doesn't know that. I could have Stealth Rock on Clefable or Steelix, but he obviously recognizes I don't have hazard removal. So he's going to get him up as quickly as possible. We're just going to go for a Scald, assuming he would stay in with the Donphan, and we can hit whatever comes in. So he does switch out to the Sylveon, which is clearly supposed to be more especially defensive. And we go for a Magic Coat, thinking it was Mirror Coat, believing we can kill this thing with its own Hyper Voice, but it's actually going to Heal Bell and heal off Mega Scizor's burn, which is pretty clutch, but at the end of the day, it was still Magic Coat, so it wouldn't have made a difference. So we're just going to go for a Scald as he switches into his Rotom, and we do burn this thing, but I still don't really want to stay in. If it was Mirror Coat, I would stay in if it was Mirror Coat, I would have absolutely stayed in, but he, now I'm threatened out, so I'm going to switch out to my Rotom though because I quad resist the incoming Volt Switch, and I do resist the Hydro Pump if you wanted to go for that. Plus, I'm specially defensive. So, he's going to Volt Switch out, and he's going to go into his Sylveon. And I forget what I do here. I think I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp to burn whatever I really want to. No, I decided to go for a Volt Switch and get the heck out of here. The Sylveon is probably just going to go for a Hyper Voice, so I'm going to go ahead and go into my Steelix, because I'll resist the Hyper Voice and I'll take it very well with my Assault Vest. Now, the Heavy Slam is obvious, so he's going to switch into his Rotom Wash, and I'm going to make kind of a bold prediction and go into my Rotom Mow in retaliation to that. Pull a very nice double, and I predict that perfectly, which is terrific news, because now I threaten this Rotom out once again. I'm just going to go for a Leaf Storm, in case he wanted to stay in, and not much really wanted to take it besides the Scizor and the Crobat, but the Crobat can't switch in thinking I have an Electric type move. So he is going to switch in the Scizor, and I know I can burn this thing because I'll probably be faster than it before it Mega Evolves. I'm confident in that now. But I missed the Leaf Storm. It doesn't matter because it wouldn't have done much anyways, and I'm actually kind of glad I missed, so that way I don't get the -2 special attack drop. So he is going to Mega Evolve right here and go for a Knock Off and knock off my leftovers as we go for a Will-O-Wisp and cripple this Scizor once again. The knockoff is not going to do much because it is burned now, but we do lose our leftovers, which is a little bit unfortunate, and we're just going to take this opportunity to go ahead and Volt Switch out. There's not much left here that Rotom Mow can really do, but he is going to switch out into the Sylveon, which is fine with us because we're going to get the slow Volt Switch off, and we're going to switch into something in retaliation to that, and I believe I select my not my Mega Steelix, my regular Steelix, because I know I can, I decided to go into my Mega Lopunny, even better, because I'm confident I can kill this thing with a Return. So I'm just going to go for a Return and get some damage off on whatever he's going to switch into. But he decides to switch into the Donphan, and that's going to take it very nicely. I didn't realize how physically defensive this Donphan was going to be, but there's a good reason he brought it. It's because it walls my Mega Lopunny very effectively. So I can't take an Earthquake, and he won't die to a Return, so I have to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Milotic because it's my physical wall, or as best of a physical wall as I can get, and he's going to go for the Toxic, which is perfect because we are Marvel Scale, so that boosts our defense. It helps quite a bit. It helps us take hits from this Donphan better, as well as the Mega Scizor and the Crobat. But he's going to switch out now, fearing a Scald, and he's going to go into a Sylveon, as I am just going to go for a Scald because I figured the Sylveon was coming in. But either way, if this thing gets burned, which it does, that's very good news for us because the Sylveon is crippled all of a sudden. He's forced to go for a Heal Bell here if he wants to not take the residual damage for the Sylveon, but the thing is slowly dying. He's going to double out into his Rotom Wash as we, I believe, are going to just go for another Scald. And now he threatens us out with a Volt Switch. So I have to switch out, and what I'm going to do is I could have switched into my Steelix, but I didn't want to risk him predicting that and going for a Hydro Pump. So I'm just going to go into my Rotom-Mow because I quad resist electric and resist water. It's okay. Actually, I decided to go into my Clefable, even better. I'm sorry, guys. I forget. This battle just happened. I'm surprised I'm forgetting all this. We're going to go to my Clefable because it is my special wall. So he's going to Volt Switch out. He's going to go into his Crobat. There's not really much I can do, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out on this Crobat because I don't want to go for the Flamethrower. So I'm going to go into my Steelix because I know I can take pretty much any hit from this Crobat. Crobats are usually physical, and I can take any hit with my natural bulk, but he reveals the nasty plot and that he is a special Crobat. He's going to go for the Heat Wave and luckily miss. I never knew that Crobat got Heat Wave, so it's very clutch, and we're just going to go for a Rock Slide, thinking we would have been safe, but luckily he did miss that Heat Wave. So we go for the Rock Slide, and that takes the Crobat down to real low health. And now we're going to switch into my Arcanine, predicting him to go for another Heat Wave, and we can get a Flash Fire boost and be completely immune to it. And suddenly we have the momentum, just like that. I'm going to go for an E-Speed, predicting the Rotom Wash to switch in, but he's actually going to switch into his Scizor. So that's a very good prediction on his part. I really should have gone for Flare Blitz in hindsight, but I really just thought that Rotom was coming in. But it's okay. So we're just going to keep going for Extreme Speeds because we are banded. The Scizor can't really do much to us. So he's going to go for a knockoff and knock off our Choice Band, which we are doing less damage now, but on the bright side, we can switch up our moves. I'm still going to go for another Extreme Speed, predicting him to switch on to Rotom Wash this turn, but alas, he does not, and we get a low roll, which means the burn won't kill him this turn. As he goes for a BP, we don't take very much from it because we do resist it. But we can just go for another Extreme Speed and take this Scizor out unless he wants to switch out and save it. But he does not, so we are up 6-5. Awesome. We're already up kind of in the middle of the game. This is pretty late into the game already. So he's going to switch out to his Donphan because it obviously won't die to a Flare Blitz. So I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz and just do as much damage as I can, and he's going to kill me with an Earthquake. So Arcanine did its job. It was really meant to just take out the Scizor. Albeit, I didn't think that that's how I was going to take out the Scizor. But we are going to go down to an Earthquake from the Donphan, and we can go into whatever we want in retaliation to this. And what I am going to do is go into my Mega Lopunny because this thing does not want to take a return, it'll die. So we are just going to go for a Fake Out, just in case it wanted to go for an Ice Shard. And if he's predicting the switch, then kudos to him. He brings in this Malamar, and I know Malamars often carry Superpower with Contrary, and the way he brought this in, I actually thought that this might have been Scarf. So I bring in my Clefable, knowing I would resist the Superpower, and I wouldn't care about the fact that he got stat boosts. And then this turn, I'm going to go for a Flamethrower, because if he stays in, I have the chance to burn the Malamar, but I'm honestly really just predicting the Crobat to switch in. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Go into the Crobat, we're going to go for a Flamethrower, and this thing does not... It does live, but it won't... it won't die to another... Let me start that sentence over. It'll die to another Flamethrower, so we're going to stay in. I thought we could take a Sludge Bomb better, but we don't, and that's kind of unfortunate. So, because he revealed Nasty Plot Heat Wave, obviously I know he's not Scarf, so I know my Mega Lopunny will outspeed it. And I debated going for a Power-Up Punch, but if he had enough physical investment, he actually would have lived it. So I just decided to go for a return. As he switches into Sylveon, in hindsight, I really should have just gone for the Power-Up Punch because I would have been in a much better position. And I really should have kept around my Clefable because now this Malamar is a threat. I decided to switch out into my Steelix, and I figured I could take maybe one Superpower, which I can very easily, but I won't be able to take a second. I honestly thought that would do way less damage, but I did neglect to remember that the attack boost would just make him stronger. So there's not much I can do. I have to sack off my Steelix, and he's starting to set up, and suddenly this Malamar is a threat. What I have to do is I'm going to go to my Mega Lopunny and go for a Fake Out, get a little bit of damage off on this thing, and then switch out into something, and I unfortunately have to go into my Milotic when I do switch out because it is my most physical thing. I actually do think I go into my Milotic, and honestly, this Malamar just wins the game for him, guys. I'm not going to spoil it any longer. Rezilient does win this game with this Malamar because he keeps going for Superpower and setting up. In hindsight, things I could have done better with this battle. I really should have gone for the Power-Up Punch with the Mega Lopunny when I had the opportunity. I should have known this Malamar wasn't Scarfed, but I thought it was, and if that was Rezilient's plan, kudos to him, because I thought this thing was Scarf the way he brought this in. I'm gonna go. My Lotus just gonna go down. This thing's at +4 attack and defense right now, so I'm just gonna go for a Will-O-Wisp. I really should have just gone for damage. I think I could have had a chance if I had maybe crit the Leaf Storm or something like that. But alas, we did not. Yeah, you guys see in the chat, I just said, you just won, GG. Which, it's okay. I was salty for about 5 minutes, but how could I not be? I lost. At the end of the day, we did lose. We take our first loss of the season. Rezilient remains undefeated. And I definitely learned a lot from this battle. I learned that we are not immune. We are not unbeatable. We are vulnerable. Just like every other Pokemon team is. We are vulnerable to losing. And it kind of it lowered my confidence, but at the same time it lowered my arrogance. So at the end of the day, very good game to Rezilient. His channel will definitely be in the description below. You guys should check him out. He's a very good battler. As you guys can see, he's undefeated in the GPSL. That brings him to 6-0 and brings us to 4-1. We are still in second place. If Grant wins by a high enough margin, he will go up to second place. That battle has not happened yet this week. So, we'll be in second or third place in some kind of form. And I do hope you guys did enjoy I forgot how to talk. I do hope you guys did enjoy this battle. And next week, you guys will see us playing against ohGrant, a good old-fashioned rival battle. So I hope to see you guys there. Stick around, like, subscribe if you guys want to see more content from me. Of course, we have our GPSL battles that go up around once a week. And we have our playthrough of Pokemon Glaze, which goes up around 4 or 5 times a week as well. So anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. I can't talk.